Welcome to this quick quality test. I literally jumped on first try and just recorded this with my new device. We're using the Cutthroat, Tokens, and Battalions feeds. Spoiler alert, I failed, but it was just a test. Even though this is just a test run, I got really far and I was barely trying, so hopefully this actually helps anyone out there trying to farm for tier 5 gear in the dungeon. Last thing to note is I'll have the build at the end of the video, so enjoy. Honestly, if you do this first encounter enough, it just becomes really chill. Especially when you're using Praxic Blade, deflection, things like that. I debated whether or not I was going to focus more on my ability to deflect, because there's a lot more harder enemies in here. Cutthroat is pretty rough. So I did actually focus on reflect for this run on the modifier for the Praxic Blade. And one thing that you'll notice is I have battalions on, so after coming out of the caves and doing your run around in the speeder to get the Shadow Novice buff, basically with battalions on, you are going to have those void soul sucker things, and they're going to be all around the map. They're in 3 points, and they will basically appear in the spots where the snipers are. I mean, they are the snipers. Those guys are extremely difficult to deal with solo. They're hard to deal with a party of 3, honestly, because they're so tanky. They're beefy. So what I do, there's a little trick here. I actually unlock the door here. You'll notice I had unlocked that first door, and then I also unlocked the other door on the left. And that's where I took the speeder in and actually started gathering the buff. And then I come out from here, and as you can see, there's no soul suckers. So the void soul suckers won't appear if you do that specifically. I don't know why, but that's how that works. Honestly, for me, that makes Cutthroat and any other modifiers I want to put on here that much easier. It's not easy per se, but it's easier. It's a lot less difficult when you don't have to worry about being in the center of the map because you don't want to be too close to those soul suckers. So yeah. So as you can see, I'm going around. I have a very interesting build. I'm actually trying this build out for the first time. It was on Aztec Cross's video. I had a variant of it before, but I actually wasn't using the Vesper robes before, the exotic chest plate. So here, I decided about at this point that I'm less worried about keeping the buff because the enemies are so tough. I'm more worried about keeping the buff than trying to kill all of the guys. That's what I mean to say. And so I'm going around here just getting the buff off of everyone. That way I don't have to stress about it. Now I can kind of take my time. Cool part about the 3 modifiers I put on is it's the guaranteed tier 5 modifier. With that combination, you have a guaranteed tier 5, a couple of enhancement prisms, and an ascendant shard. So this is actually quite an effective farm, especially if you don't have the armor set that you're looking for. Yeah, now I'm focusing on sort of the walkers. I think one good strategy is get all the walkers down. Try to avoid killing the big guys. They're tanky anyway if you have Cutthroat on. I chose these modifiers because I really dislike the challenge. I mean, that one, obviously it's way easier, but it's also kind of not, because it's an annoyance to have to worry about killing these big guys with the speeder. So encounter challenge for me is a no-go for the farm. Another no-go for me in the farm is the time. I don't know why, but like it's just nice. It's freeing, like not knowing that you don't have to worry about the time, especially if you're farming. I know eventually you get faster, but you know, for me, I'm more on the side of not worrying about time. As you can see, I'm really getting like they're really trying to kill me. So start putting some things out. This build is really great. One thing I focused on with this build is trying to make sure that my grenade stat is pretty high, because my arc buddy is doing a lot of work, my grenades are doing a lot of work, I have the turret, and with one of the later updates with Renegades, Bungie went ahead and boosted damage for your buddies as a Warlock via your grenades. So very helpful to get that grenade stat up. I have other builds where I'm like, my grenade stat is like 180, but for this one with Vesper, it was a little bit difficult to get that. So at the end, you'll see that I focused on trying to get around 180 via the fonts, because you can put the grenade fonts, I think, on your gauntlets, and that's kind of what helped out there. So yeah, I think one thing I started to like lose track of, because literally just got on and was just kind of testing this build out, just also testing out the quality for the capture card. I think making sure that you have your combos down with especially on Cutthroat. It's like there's a pattern with these behemoths where you block, you time your block for when they're actually stomping down, and then you start doing your full combo, and then you will barely have enough time to block again. God, I almost died right there. This build is pretty OP, because for me to like survive all of that, it's kind of insane. I also have a frost armor build that I like to use as well. I might end up sharing that too, just because it's nice. One thing that's interesting about my build in this video is a lot of my builds that I actually use lately, since I'm obsessed with the Praxic Blade, like probably most people. I'm using 2-piece Sage Protector. Sage Protector is the armor set that comes with the dungeon here, and I'm using 2-piece Swordmaster. It's really awesome that when you get hits on enemies to exhaust them with the Swordmaster gear, and then I just really love the synergy of getting my class ability energy back when doing sword strikes with the Sage Protector. So it really is the perfect combination for me, having those two. Let me guess, I die. When do I die? I just kind of probably I actually forget where I die here, like, because it was pretty chill for the most part. It must be right here. No? Yeah, dang, I really don't know. Honestly, the only way to die here is, yeah, there we go. Really just like making sure to be more safe with those last behemoths is the big deal. But let's go over my build real quick. Alright, so I'm rocking a pure Stormcaller subclass. I'm using healing, strafe, only got one melee. I think it's better to use Chaos Reach, so I think next time I run in there to try that, I'll probably use Chaos Reach. And then flashbang grenade because I like for it to trigger quickly. Ionic sentry is great because it gets you that extra sentry. All you gotta do is get a kinetic kill or an arc weapon kill, and also an arc ability kill will work too, and that changes your grenade to throwing down a turret. And then arc soul to cast your rift and get your arc soul buddy. When surrounded, basically being able to gain extra resistance to incoming damage is like, it's kind of a no-brainer. Then the other one, the amplified, like basically this one here, that second one basically helps with getting your charge rate up for your saber, so you're able to swing a lot more. And the last two are no-brainers too, just because of getting ionic traces is always a win, as well as jolting enemies with your grenades, which I think is triggered by arc souls as well. Since this was just a test video, I'm going to let the rest play out, and you can just kind of take a look at the rest of the build if you like. But anyway, thanks for watching as usual, and yeah, hopefully this uploads in better quality than my solo dungeon video, because that was filmed on a potato. Anyway, take care. Oh, also, don't forget to check out my latest Destiny lore video on Titans. It's been one that some people have been waiting for, and I had a lot of fun putting it together. So yeah, go check it out.